morning, everybody. I think most of you know who I am. My name is Jason Rice, and I'm going to get the pleasure of doing our Blue Sync this Thursday because it's that time of year, and I'm sure as most of you as admins and managers are realizing through our agents that listing inventory is a challenge in 2017, and the opportunities that we do get to go sit at a kitchen table or a conference room table to interview for the job of listing a seller's home is an important one, and making sure we go to those appointments fully equipped with all the resources and tools to get the job done and actually achieve the contract is kind of key this year, because as we know with this inventory challenge, every opportunity is an opportunity that can't be wasted. So a couple of years back, and many of you know the name Zan Monroe, Zan has partnered with Coldwell Banker over the last couple of years and delivered a lot of different programs. He actually did a couple of programs here in the state of Michigan for the Schmidt organization. He's currently doing one, I think it's in Ohio as we speak, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe Florida too. Again, not quite sure I have all those accurate, but nonetheless, he's a guy that's been very interactive with our company and the brand overall. And I think this program that he has developed that's available for us to use anytime we want, called 8 Weeks to Listing Mastery, is one that personally I employed when I was selling. And the step-by-step stuff that's within this program really is dynamic. We use this program as part of our launch pad for new agents. It's a series that's self-paced, so you as an admin and or your manager can put on this as a weekly workshop, or maybe you want to knock it all out in 1 week or whatever the case may be. But again, our agents have the ability to do this whenever they want because it is self-paced. It's not a live webinar. It's something that's available anytime. So before I get into the program itself, I want to direct you to the website. So you notice here on the top, it's ColdwellBankerUniversity.com/8 and the word weeks. So I'd ask everyone on the call to write that down, www.coldwellbankeruniversity.com/8 weeks. And you can see it up there in the corner. When you go to that site, it's a standalone website that is actually linked through CB Exchange. There's other avenues to get to this site, by the way. If you go to CB Exchange and search Zan Monroe, this program will pop up in the feed through CB Exchange also, for those of you that are diving into that. But if you want to get there direct, you can put in the website as I just put up here. This program has 3 steps, and I've done a Cliff's Notes version of this program and done it as a workshop. I was just in Cadillac on Tuesday for a group from Cadillac and Houghton Lake, delivering kind of an abbreviated version of Dan's program to highlight some of the content that's within this program, and then to encourage those agents to go back and dive a little deeper into it. And I broke those steps down into 3 sections. There's a process, there's the stuff that you need within the process, and then with everything there is practice. So as I'm encouraging agents, it's not just kind of a go through this webinar, it's actually got some follow-up. You've got to actually gather the stuff that you need to deliver upon what Zan's suggesting you do, and then you also need to practice. You've got to actually role play this, and for a lot of agents, that's a foreign word. They don't want to role play, but that might be just doing some mock ones with a colleague, something in front of the mirror. So Dan gets into a lot of these types of topics, but I kind of summated into those 3 main points. So in terms of the process, and again, some of the stuff's in here, and I'll end the conversation this morning with some of the stuff. The process has been outlined into an 8-week series. So as I slowly scroll here so I don't lose anybody, you'll see that there is the introduction, and each week is listed here with a plus sign. And so when I hit the plus sign, let's say in the introduction first, when I hit that, it's going to open up a menu of what's included. So there is a promotional, motivational video, so a commercial, if you will. Then there's the documents that might be needed, and in this case, a tracking sheet. There's a lot of the stuff that he talks about is right here. We don't have to create it. You can just download it and print it. And then if this was actually one of the tutorials, there would be a 20 to 30 minute video in which he goes through the concepts, all of the items within each topic. And so you'll see a video here. So as I close this out, maybe not, there it goes. We'll go to week 3, for example. And so in week 3, it talks about pre-listing interview and pre-listing package. So again, here's the promotional video that could be sent to all your agents as an email to check this out. Maybe it's played in your business meeting as a little teaser for a follow-up lunch and learn or afternoon workshop or something like that later in the week. Here's the handout, so you actually click this, and if I click this, it will open up a PDF, and this can be printed at 6 pages, agent guided checklist for all of the stuff that he's going to talk about in that particular video. And in this case, we're talking about the pre-listing interview. So again, you don't have to create that interview questions. It has all the stuff here, and then he has some content that he thinks for the pre-listing package that makes sense. So all the documents are right there. I'll just close that out. And then again, the video is right here. And when you just click this video, it will open up to Zan's program. You can make it full screen, and then you can watch the video and take notes as you go along. So each week has a different topic, and it kind of falls in line with how things should go in terms of a process. So in week 1, and I'll just to go through these quickly, it's going to talk about the importance of getting more listings and why listings are important and setting mindset and all these types of things here. Your database. He looks at the NAR profile of home buyers and sellers, which the new one has come out, and that's a little different than potentially a year and a half ago when this was made. We go to week 2. Week 2 is all about preparation, getting your ducks in a row. And so again, he's going to talk about the importance about knowing your numbers, knowing the personality types of the people that the agents will be engaging, and then some homework. In week 3, which I opened up earlier, it talks about a pre-listing interview when you get the contact on the phone, and then some follow-up after the phone conversation in terms of a package sent to them ahead of the meeting, which is a very powerful wow factor. And he spends a lot of time on this pre-listing package. And this is, again, where us as admins and the support team will help our agents put some of this stuff together. And in fact, the pre-listing package is already done in the form of a 3-page folder that outlines the things that need to be outlined in a pre-listing package that Zan talks about, primarily introducing the company, introducing the brand, introducing the region, the state, your office, and potentially yourself with as an agent, potentially have your magazine or your ad or a biography or a brochure or whatever the case may be. And then maybe something to add a little flair to it. I use the example of some agents have cookies and send a batch of cookies, and they wrap it up in a nice little bow attached with some of this information ahead of the interview. Facebook Generation Blue page, one fella from a company in North Carolina literally sends a mini iPad, and he puts the information on the mini iPad and sends it in advance of his listing presentation to that potential seller, and to create a wow factor. And again, if they don't list with him, he's basically giving them a iPad, which is pretty extreme, but probably pretty powerful. My guess is he doesn't lose very many listings because not very many other folks are probably engaging in that kind of thing. So then we'll talk a lot about pre-listing package. Then the world's listing presentation, the order of go, the sequence of a great listing presentation, and some homework. Really, really important. Then he gets into pricing or positioning is a more thing where we don't just put the home in terms of a market analysis. He actually uses some different math that's used by lenders in terms of absorption rates and odds of selling and things like that can help position a new listing amongst the competition, not just looking at what has sold in the past. And again, this is a very powerful tool for agents if they understand these concepts to come to a listing appointment equipped to really give a good perspective on what the market's doing. Again, not looking in arrears necessarily, but looking forward also. And even for those folks that are looking for price adjustments for a current listing, this piece right alone can help provide the data, the insight that a seller may need and may need to understand more clearly in order to get their home more accurately priced in the market. Week 6 is a positioning again, kind of a little part 2, if you will, from the pricing conversation of week 5. Week 7 is motivations, understanding what's going on in sellers' minds and understanding the objections and using a calendar and all that kind of stuff. So very interesting there. And then in week 8 is some marketing. How do we market the property? And again, some of this marketing stuff might be included in your presentation as Mr. and Mrs. Seller, this is what we as Coldwell Banker Schmidt Family of Companies and Jason Rice do to maximize the exposure of your home. And then you use all of those tools to do just that. And then I actually add a couple other flares on that from after week 8 to understanding the agency documents, understanding your purchase agreements inside and out, because if you do all weeks step 1 through 8 here and then don't conclude with understanding the actual agreements, you could potentially lose some of the credibility you've earned from Zan's program if you don't have the final part, which is getting the contract and understanding the terms within the contract, et cetera, or agency disclosure, et cetera. So it's a very powerful program. I really highly recommend that in the next weeks and months ahead that every office promotes this weekly, energizes their office by saying, hey, we're going to have a brown bag lunch and we're going to do week 6 or we're going to do week 7 or we're going to do this over the next 8 weeks, or maybe, again, decide to cram it in and do it in a shorter time period. It's really up to you. And again, as a support team, we can make sure that the video is ready to go on your screens or however you're going to deliver it. We can have the stuff pre-printed, ready to go to hand out to those that participate. Now, the last thing I want to talk about this is a little beyond 8 weeks to listing mastery in the last few minutes here, and then I'll take questions, is this is all about process right here, like I mentioned at the beginning. There needs to be the stuff that you need and then the follow-up practice, if you will. And I think the agents that combine all three, process, stuff, and practice, tend to be the agents that go into a listing presentation with a big wow factor and a lot of power and are literally winning at the kitchen table, even against stiff competition, meaning some top producers in their markets. And I've personally experienced some of that myself and watched agents in some of the offices that I've been in have some of those same success stories. So the stuff is a very important piece of that. So I want to remind everyone, and I don't have it on a piece of paper here that I can display, but we have a Coldwell Banker Schmidt Family of Companies folder, and that folder does basically what the prepackaged indicates. Again, outlines who we are as a brand, who we are as Coldwell Banker Schmidt Family of Companies, who we are as a state, because it's geared towards whatever state you might be in, Florida, Ohio, or Michigan. And then it has the pocket for you to add your own personal flavor to it, whether, again, it's personal brochures or testimonials or things like that you strongly think are powerful and need to be part of that. In addition to the stuff, and I know you've had some in the past, but CBX, and again, even if CBX may have some quirks depending on the market that you're in, to use CBX as part of your presentation to add another level of wow factor can be very powerful. Listing to leads, their text feature as an example. Imagine having the listing presentation going through Zan's program here, but taking a moment in the middle of that to demonstrate the text feature that listing to leads offers and how that can help the seller and how that can help you understand who the buyer is and make sure that the buyer is receiving the information they need. So all of those things that are incorporated as stuff, all the arrows that are available to our agents to use, it's important also that you as support team have some understanding of how those operate. And again, there'll be more and more tutorials coming down the road, especially as we approach April. And I think we have a big gathering planned on April 19th where we hope to help and enhance some of that knowledge and experience with some of those tools. But the stuff is very important to complement the process. And then again, last, to encourage our agents, if they need help if they need to have some practice. Again, it may not be on you. You may not be the guinea pig, but to maybe help hook a couple of agents up together and say, hey, go through your presentation together. Let me help you gather some of the stuff. Let me help you explain how CBX works or whatever the case may be. So it's kind of 3-step, but this is a very great program, and I was glad that I was asked this morning or last week to go over this morning because, again, personally, I'm a guy as a real estate agent when I was selling that strongly benefited from this program. It took my business from to the next level, basically, because my listing presentations, I was converting my appointments into contracts, into actual listing agreements at a far greater rate when I employed Zan's program along with the stuff, and I actually practiced a little bit about before I went to a real kitchen table. So with that said, I'm going to open up my box here. And if there are any questions, and again, feel free to, after today, to call me or email me, either myself, Carrie, or Judy. We will be glad to forward you other information. And again, I have some insight into some broader things within this program that if your manager or yourself want to pick my brain, or even an agent wants to kind of understand it a little bit better, I'd be glad to take that call and offer what I can offer. So I hope my voice was working the whole time, Carrie, and I wasn't talking to myself, but it sounds like everybody's still here. So any questions?
I don't see any questions coming through at this time, Jason. I think it was really great content, and I really appreciate you taking the time to share it with us.
Glad to do so. Looking forward to the 19th, everybody. And again, please don't hesitate. jason.rice@cbgreatlakes.com or judith.luptek@cbgreatlakes.com. And then, of course, you all know Carrie.scomp@cbgreatlakes.com. Please don't hesitate to reach out to us if you'd like some further clarification or explanation regarding this program. It's really a cool one. So best of luck to everybody. Enjoy the week.